All right, all right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, sisters, YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I need to go ahead and answer this question because, we just got finished with gathering of the saints. And questions are starting to pour in because people had a couple of experiences on many different firearms and weapons. And of course, I told them at gathering of the saints of God that, that's pretty much your choice. You should pay attention to what feels good for you. And so, but the question that I'm getting, is Pastor Dow, should I, get a large caliber firearm or a medium caliber firearm or a small caliber firearm? Which one should I get? Well, again, it all goes on personal preference. It does no good to have the biggest gun that there is out there and you can't pull the trigger. But yeah, I think the biggest thing, or the greatest thing, let me say the greatest thing that people need to understand about firearms is this. They need to understand that you can have any gun you want. Yet if you're not getting hits, it makes no difference what gun or what weapon you have. You need accuracy, reliability. In order to get that, then you have to actually do some training. And the fundamentals, which I showed a lot of people. I had a few people that said, tell me something wrong with the gun. And I took 3 different calibers of gun and put it directly smack dab dead center of the bullseye the whole time. But it's not the gun. The fundamentals remain the same. But you have to also understand that, I've put thousands and thousands of rounds downrange coming from this trigger finger right here and this one over here. With a rifle, I shoot left. Everything else right. But if I go over a few of them here, I'll give you an example. The 380, which is also a semi-automatic, which is a preferred weapon for women. Because basically, nobody wants to get hit by any round whatsoever at all, if you understand what I mean. I don't think anybody relishes getting hit. I don't care if it's even by a 22. Nobody wants to get shot, period. But with the ammunition and the impact of the ammunition and the kind of damage that ammunition do today, especially these hollow points, I'm telling you, you'll be fine with a 380, especially a woman, and you got 6-7 shots too, and it's a semi-automatic. I personally teach women. You tell everybody you in fear of your life and you empty the whole entire magazine. God forbid that you ever have to defend yourself because of, but you need to be ready in case you do. And if you're a woman, you got any type of weapon, you empty the whole entire magazine. And that's just all there is to it. Empty the whole thing. But the 380 is a good one. And of course, a lot of people talk about the 38 caliber because the 38 caliber revolver, it has, it's reliable. It's easy. There's no safety. There's no other different functions you have to use on it. 5 rounds, point and shoot. Of course, then it's a little bulky, and then the trigger squeeze is a little bit hard. So, if you're going to use a semi-automatic, number one, you need to make sure that it's clean. And then number two, you need to make sure that you practice with it. And number three, more than anything, that you are carrying the right kind of ammo. And when you practice, make sure you get a lot of hits. But anyway, then we can go on up from there. People have different preferences and stuff as far as weapons. I myself prefer a 45, a 1911 45 in any platform pretty much. But that's my preferred weapon of choice. But, I actually sit down at the table and talk with Pastor Fox, and he was speaking to me about a Glock 19. And so, I decided to actually go out and purchase a Glock 19. I'm going to put a few rounds and let you know what my thoughts are on it, but it's smaller, definitely a smaller caliber firearm than a 45. Smaller than a 40, but the good thing about it is the Glocks are kind of like the AK-47, reliable. And the Glocks, have been proven world over and over and over again. I have nothing against them. It's just that, I guess I'm just old school. So I like the larger calibers. I'm very comfortable with the 45. Always have been very accurate with the 45, and I know how to break it down. I can break down a 1911 45 ACP. All the way down to nothing, pretty much. Put it back together. So I'm just familiar with that platform. But I'm starting to understand a little bit more as I expand my theology concerning weapons that You know, you have like a Glock 19. You're looking at 15 rounds. 15 rounds. I mean, you're doubling what you already would have in a 1911. You're doubling the amount of rounds. I mean, you could be out and be in a firefight in 6 to 8 rounds, unless you carrying extra magazines. Then you have time for reloading and everything else. But with a Glock 19, you start thinking about it, 15 rounds going in the chamber. That's 16 rounds going down range in 9mm. And I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to get hit by anything nowadays. But when you start thinking about that amount of rounds that you have at your disposal in case you had to defend yourself against 1, 2, 3, or possibly even 4 people nowadays. I mean, Brother Mike Holland was up here and he told us that down in North Carolina, when he was giving the security class, he told us that there was, and that's the reason why I tell women, let me get back to Mike Holland, but listen to this. I'm big on our sisters not going nowhere alone because, you know, some of them do it anyway. But I'm really big on that they need to be together. Because with the way that this world is, it's a crazy world out there. And Brother Mike was telling us in the security class that, you know, they had gangs initiations. And listen to how perverse and how wicked it is in order to get in one of these gangs. In order to get initiated in one of these gangs, what you had to do is you actually had to rape a woman with her child watching. And you know what they were doing it at? Out in the Walmart parking lot. A lot of them cameras that you see up in Walmart is all theater. It's grandstand and stage place. 99% of them don't even work. They just there for show because Walmart is too cheap because they're pinching pennies to care about your security or my security. That's the reason why you need to secure yourself. But can you imagine people sitting up there raping a little child's mother, and the child has to sit there and watch it, and all the trauma that is coming from that experience, all to get initiated in a game. And like I said, you know, I hope and pray. I hope and pray that I never come up on a situation like that, because there's going to be a lot of bloodshed. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed, a lot of bloodletting if I see any type of man out there, as long as it's in my area and I'm around. Because I'm not the type of guy that's going to sit around and watch any man, whether you be in uniform or not, oppress and abuse a female. There's just something that's inside of my heart that I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to sit by and stand by and put up with that. I don't mind. You got to understand, if I can sit up there and go out of country and be in these crazy conditions and stuff, sure I can. If I have to wait for a jury while I'm waiting, I'm getting 3 squares and a cotton, I'm getting my scriptures and my Bible with that. But hey, I'll just take my chances with that. And that's enough said on that. But you know, if the women were armed today, you know, you need to try to do what you can to get close to it and stuff. But you know, I mean, you just never know when evil is going to rear its ugly head. But anyway, back to where we were. I personally, I'm liking that platform of the Glock 19 simply because the amount of rounds and the ease of breakdown and ease of care and the reliability of it. I really truly am when I start to think about it. So I'll give you my reviews on it a little bit later. And of course, then, you know, we're familiar with the 45 different calibers, you know what I mean, the 45. Well, I mean, 45s on the XD platform, Springfield Army, and then the 1911s and stuff. And then, of course, you got an XD42, which is also a very, very good weapon. But it all depends on what you yourself want. You see, I'm a little bit different. I'm not a Christian pastor. I'm an Israelite. I'm a Hebrew. And I definitely believe in self-preservation. I'm not going to sit up there and sing Kumbaya, my Lord, and expect him to come down and to deliver me out of the hands of an enemy or an oppressor, when he clearly tells me in the scriptures to defend myself from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that's just all there's to it. And you people do well to adopt the same attitude and the same spirit. But, you know, people are literally going crazy today. I mean, literally going crazy with all the drugs that are going on. You know, these depression drugs are making folks just literally just do some crazy stuff. And of course, I keep telling you that these drugs open up your mind to the spirit realm, and they end up you getting thoughts and stuff and voices in your head. And these pharmaceutical companies, everybody know what they're doing, but they don't care. The only thing they're thinking about is maximizing profits and stuff. But yeah, you ladies, you need to kind of like double arm yourself. Not only do you need to have a firearm on you, but you also should try to get some mace too. You know, if you have a mace, you have a keychain and stuff, you can always have it in your hand in case somebody act crazy on you. At least you can spray them with mace, and then you can make a decision from there if you're in fear of your life, and then you can decide from that point why you're responding rather than reacting if you need to take the necessary lethal force in order to preserve and protect yourself and whoever is with you. But anyway, it's still all about personal preference, and I would say that you have to get to a range or get around somebody who's very competent in firearms to show you and to help you to make a decision and to give you the reasons why. And of course, still the final decision is still yours in the end. But the ideal is to get out there. The ideal is to get out there and to start getting some training on it and learning on it, which I'm definitely spending more time with the Saints here straightway, especially our sisters, because we definitely love them dearly. We want to make sure that they are well protected. But anyway, I hope I've said something to try to bring some type of clarity. But remember, it doesn't make any difference what type of weapon you get. If you can't hit the target, if you can't get confirmed hits, what difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference at all, does it? All right, y'all have a good day.